talk about selecting now, as it's probably the most powerful and useful tool that you'll have when doing photo editing. Selecting means to be able to select part of an image and be able to work on just that part or take that part and apply it to other images. So you have a couple different select tools. You have the marquee select tool, which lets you select basic shapes like rectangles and circles. You have the lasso select, which lets you select any kind of shape that you can draw. And you have the wand select, which is what lets you select by color. So let's take a look at each. The marquee select is click and drag to select the shape you want. If you click off, it gets rid of the selection and you can do it again. You can also choose circle. And if you'll notice when you're inside the circle, the crosshairs change. You can click and drag them to reposition them, but you cannot rotate them and you cannot resize them. So if it's not the right size, you will have to click out and do it again. Now, if you want to take that part of the image, you can copy it and paste it, just like you do in a word processor. If you select the words in Google Docs that you want to copy, you can Control-C, copy them, and Control-V, paste them. Control-C to copy and Control-V to paste are a common shortcut that are used across almost every computer program that exists on the face of the earth. So I'll Control-C copy this and Control-V paste it. And you can see it's made a copy of it that I can then manipulate as well. So it makes a new layer, which we will talk about soon enough. This layer, though, if I want to, I can click and get access to its options, one of which is to just delete it, which is what we'll do now so that we can look at some other selections. So the lasso select is going to let you just draw the selection you want to make. So here I'm just going to draw around the lips. So if I wanted to select the shape of the lips here, that is the best tool for the job. I'm going to draw around and oops, too much. But as we'll see, there are ways around fixing that. Now I get back to my original shape. You can see that the line starts to animate. That means that the selection's been made. But what do I do about this? Or if I need to add or remove part of my selection? Well, that's these modes here, and you'll see that they exist in the different tools as well. This is Add to Selection. It's also telling me Shift will let me do that. By pressing the Shift key, I can switch to that mode. And Remove from the selection, or Control. If I hold Control, I can switch to that. So with those two keys, you can swap back and forth very quickly. But here I want to remove from the selection. I want to cut this part out. So I'm going to draw along this edge, the part that I really want, and then I'm going to loop back around and go all the way around that piece that I don't want. And then I'll snip it out. So even if you don't get your selection spot on to begin with, you're able to add and remove it. And if you want to be very, very precise, well, then you can zoom in. You can use your space bar to drag your view. And then you can start adding and removing as you need to. So here, if I wanted to add, I'll add this little bit here. Boom. So you're able to be very, very precise if you want to. Now, one more select is the wand select. Now the wand select lets you select by color. So if I wanted to select the teeth here, I can click on the white. And it's going to try and select everything of that color that touches it. As you can see, it didn't get all of the teeth. But that's where this comes in. This is tolerance. Tolerance can be applied to a lot of different tools, but as it applies to selecting, it just means how willing is the selection to accept colors that are close to the color that you clicked on. The higher the tolerance, the more willing it is to select those other colors. So it's not a precise number, it's not an exact thing. You can try different selections and and try and select the part you want. But unless you have a pretty consistent color in a pretty open space, it's really hard for it to select exactly what you're looking for. If you have an image with a green screen behind it, or just a blank white background, it can be a very fast way to select exactly what you want. But in many cases, that's not what you're looking for.